Countdown. Why? Because we're live. I'm Willie Bragg, host of the Willie Bragg Show. How are you today? Today we're going to discuss Tulsi Gabbard because we all know when it comes to Tulsi Gabbard, she's not controversial, and there's no middle. There's no extreme side when it comes to Tulsi Gabbard. She is so totally in the middle. I'm going to try to figure her out because she's a very complex politician. I remember 2 years ago, and actually 6 years ago at this time, Tulsi Gabbard entering the political stage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play two video clips back on back of the two best moments on video about Tulsi Gabbard, and I'm going to try to be fair in my critique in just a short moment here. Give me a moment here, and we will talk about it. There we go. Let me get back to this. So this is from 2016. This is when people ask me, 2 years ago, when I was like firmly behind Bernie, why was she my second choice? This will be it.
On behalf of millions inspired by Aloha, determined to seek a future rooted in love, compassion, and justice for all, and dedicated to a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, I am truly honored to nominate Bernie Sanders for President of the United States. Please.
Believe it or not, those were the days before AOC entered the political arena, when nobody knew outside of a bar where she was bartending in New York. Nobody knew who the hell AOC was. Tulsi Gabbard was the AOC of her time. One could say she was you could write her off in a good way as a grown-up AOC. And I'm not saying this to crap on AOC. AOC is young, and when I've been her age before. Believe me, I've been her age, and she's more accomplished than I'll ever be. I'm not really criticizing her, but Tulsi Gabbard really at one time was a grown-up AOC. She shared a lot of the radicalism of AOC. I wouldn't say it was a part of her essence the way it was part of AOC's essence. She sort of kind of climbed into the left, so to speak. So what I'm also going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and play part 2 of the video clip, and there's more commentary to follow. So be patient with me. As I said yesterday and a couple other times, I'm a one-man show. One-man production team. Give me a moment and we will, let's see if I'm ready. I am ready. So I'll play this clip and then I'll comment some more.
Biden at the last debate, you called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about re-entering former offenders and getting them counseling. It is why, and because I know that criminal justice system is so broken, that I am an advocate for what we need to do to not only decriminalize, but legalize marijuana in the United States.
I want to bring Congresswoman Gabbard back in. Your response.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who are on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Senator Harris.
My entire career, I have been personally opposed to the death penalty, and that has never changed. And I dare anybody who is in a position to make that decision, to face the people I have faced, to say, I will not seek the death penalty. That is my background. That is my work. I am proud of it. I think you can judge people by when they are under fire, and it's not about some fancy opinion on a stage, but when they're in the position to actually make a decision, what do they do? When I was in the position of having to decide whether or not to seek a death penalty on cases I prosecuted, I made a very difficult decision that was not popular to not seek the death penalty. History shows that, and I am proud of those decisions.
Senator Harris, thank you.
Okay, enough Cop Mollis. Enough for her. Okay, as I said, I had to show those two clips back on back because I was a staunch defender of Tulsi Gabbard when she's been under a series of attacks. Even though what I'm about to comment on with regard to Tulsi Gabbard is going to lean toward a degree of criticism, and is going to lean toward a negative critique in that criticism. Having that said, I want to be fair. I'm not even going to show you videos of her on Tucker Carlson, where Tucker Carlson was to the left of Tulsi Gabbard on foreign policy last year. Or show a video clip of Sean Hannity, where she sat there, even worse, going on Sean Hannity and agreeing with everything from his perspective. So I'm not going to show you that because I am fair. I'm showing you the two video clips that resonated with me with regard to Tulsi Gabbard from 2016 and in 2019 going into the 2020 election. I will tell you that I think that Tulsi Gabbard made a mistake in running for president in the year 2020 because her presidential campaign is why she's going to end up speaking at CPAC this week. And to keep company with people like Lauren Boebert, who ran her stupid ass mouth last year about how she don't want socialism and get the government out of my life. We want to tell the government to stay out of our way. Which that little bitch from Colorado is a recipient of the welfare state, and they fed her worthless ass as she became an elected member of Congress in the year 2020. So, So, but anyway, getting back to what I was saying regarding Tulsi Gabbard destroying Kamala Harris, that was beautiful. And I'm gonna tell you something. When she destroyed Kamala Harris's campaign, when I saw that on video a couple of years ago, I had an erection. I had a fucking hard on. I'm like, damn, Tulsi, you're not just fine. You are fine. So, I mean, just as I said, I mean, she ran to the left of Bernie on foreign policy in the year 2020 on the regime change wars. She championed Julian Assange and Ed Snowden. She drafted legislation on the Green New Deal, which was to the left of the legislation that AOC drafted. She was one of the first members of Congress when COVID hit to introduce a bill for UBI. Now, I'm glad she supported Medicare for All, but her Medicare for All plan was crappier than the best plan that was out there. And bar none, the best plan in the 2020 primary was the Bernie Sanders plan. I don't give a fuck that there was a couple other people giving tiny little lip service to Medicare for All. Bernie Sanders was the only one that meant it. And even Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan, and I think that Bernie Sanders would agree himself, is not socialized medicine. And I'm sure he himself would prefer National Health Service like they have in the UK. But I understand why he focuses on the more modest Medicare for All alternative to NHS, which means socialized medicine. But I'm going to go into that with regard to Bernie Sanders. But Tulsi Gabbard was smeared by Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton was angry that Tulsi Gabbard told the truth about the Democratic National Committee cheating against Bernie Sanders in 2016. Hillary Clinton is a very vicious person. And even now that I'm mad at Tulsi Gabbard, I'm still more pro Tulsi Gabbard than I am Hillary Clinton. And what's happened is that during the 2020 primary, Tulsi Gabbard, because she's a soldier, a veteran, she's a U.S. Army major serving in the Hawaiian National Guard. She served several tours of duty in Afghanistan and Iraq. She's seen where a lot of stuff that was going on, and a lot of folks who were conservative leaning, who would never give the Democrats the time of day, found something in Tulsi Gabbard and gave her respect. And I think that that's what happened right there. I think that what happened was that and I ran across conservatives out there that told me that I'm stupid for supporting Bernie Sanders. Why don't I consider Tulsi Gabbard? I said, well, Tulsi Gabbard is my second choice, believe it or not. And why are you getting mad at me for supporting Bernie Sanders if you're telling me I should support Tulsi Gabbard when honestly, of all the candidates running in the 2020 primaries, that she is actually officially at that time the second most left-wing candidate running in the Democratic primary in 2020. How the hell she became the second most left-wing Democratic candidate in 2020 primary and end up sounding like Liz Cheney today? It makes me angry. I'm less angry at Tulsi Gabbard herself than I am at the corporate Democrats that done this to her. It's the corporate Democrats, and almost half of the Bernie Sanders supporters did this to her. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to. And so, yeah, as I said, Tulsi Gabbard, she feels alienated by a left wing. Now, I think that she should have stayed and fought the good fight. Just go ahead and stay in there. Instead of flirting with the Republicans, I think it would have been better that she flirted with the Green Party. Make Hillary Clinton pissed off That would have really that would cause Hillary Clinton to have a stroke if she would join the Green Party. You know, I mean, honestly, I really am convinced of that. Hillary Clinton would be more pissed if Tulsi Gabbard joined the Green Party than if she became a Republican. Because if she became a Republican, she'll be like, "Oh, that's just what I expected." That's how Hillary Clinton is. But if Tulsi Gabbard would have gone into the Green Party and continued with her left-wing ideas into the Green Party, what would have happened? It would have made Hillary Clinton pissed off. And honestly, I don't wish badness on people usually, but if Hillary Clinton has a stroke over Tulsi Gabbard being a Green Party candidate in the future, that would have been very, very base. It really would have. I would have been like, fucking A, Tulsi Gabbard, loving you more for that. But I digress. So, and as I said, oh, good Lord. As I said, I'm just perplexed. I feel sorry. I feel sorry that it has come to this. And because, I mean, she has a good firm head on her shoulder. And you know, she has a lot of substance, and she would have made, she had the smarts to make it in a Sanders administration, as defense secretary, secretary of state. My plan or my wish list was to have her as the VP to Bernie Sanders. Now, as I said, I consider her a grown-up AOC. And you know, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm mad at AOC in a lot of ways these days too. I don't carry water for AOC anymore myself. In fact, I'm very angry with the squad at the moment. But I'm kind of disappointed that Tulsi Gabbard could have. It was a mistake for her to run in 2020. She should have been a campaign surrogate for Bernie, and that's a campaign surrogate for Bernie. And I'm going by what could have been, even if Bernie Sanders didn't get the nomination. Tulsi Gabbard, and I saw her as an unofficial member of the squad, and she could have been in the squad. And honestly, I think that if she would have done that, I think that she would have done something crazy, like follow Jimmy Dore's advice and urge members of Congress within the squad and friends of the squad to force the vote on Nancy Pelosi. I really believe that would have happened, and we probably wouldn't have gotten Medicare for all. But do we fucking have Medicare for all now? We don't have Medicare for all. So all the people who sit there and shit on people about, oh yeah, force a vote. Yo, you crazy for forcing a vote on Medicare for all, as if not doing force the vote is going to give us Medicare for all. Do we have fucking Medicare for all now? No, we don't. So you know, she could have been in the squad. And I can tell you, I mean, from the last few years, I was like, AOC, Tulsi Gabbard are both my favorite members of Congress. And I know they probably didn't, it looks like more and more they didn't like each other, what have you. And the pervert in me wished nothing more than to have a threesome with AOC and Tulsi Gabbard, even today. But, and that would be, you know, I don't care who knows that. That is a fantasy of mine. It is a fantasy of mine. I would love to have a threesome with AOC and Tulsi Gabbard. But and I'm mad at both ladies. I'm mad at them, but they're hot. They're smoking beautiful hot. But needless to say, she went from being a grown-up AOC, and I am very saddened by this. And I'm very saddened because she went from there to you know, just trying to grift in a way. I mean, and again, the grifting that I'm criticizing her for. I mean, everybody grifts to some degree or what have you. They want to be cohesive and find their place, and that's what it comes down to. But it was like she wasn't quite sure what direction to go. And it's not entirely her fault. She just she was treated like shit. I mean, Kim Iverson said that last year too. She was treated like shit. And she wasn't. I didn't appreciate what they did to her. I mean, it's like you're doing what you can to kick your very own out. And how fucked up it is that they're going to go and kick someone like Tulsi Gabbard out. But a lot of these Democrats, they end up bracing George W. Bush as one of their own. George W. Bush is their buddy now. Dick Cheney and his stupid ass daughter, Liz Cheney, the heterosexual one, is they're now favorites of the Democratic establishment these days. So what's going on here? And nobody's calling the Democrats out for being on friendly terms these days. I don't give a fucking rat's ass that Liz Cheney was a stop clock twice a day on the January 6th insurrection. Duh! January 6th insurrections suck. Tell me something that I don't fucking know. Tell me something that I don't know. Yeah, while she loves bombing brown people in the Middle East, I guess she figures, well, whether her party wins or not, at least she's going to stand by democratic, small d, institutions and try to uphold the values of a representative democracy or a constitutional republic, the trappings of what is called a Western free society. But the thing is that Tulsi Gabbard ended up on Tucker Carlson and started talking about Islamism and some of the talking points from 2002. And she's trying to find her place. And again, I'm disappointed with Tulsi, but I'm angry at the people that pushed her into this direction because it didn't have to be. And what the fuck are the Bernie Sanders supporters doing? Siding with Hillary Clinton, who hates Bernie Sanders. I mean, the bitch was on Howard Stern, and Howard Stern and Hillary Clinton were sitting there having a conversation about Bernie Sanders. Oh, he hurt me! He hurt me! He hurt me! Hillary Clinton, bitch, somebody should have hurt you. And I'm not saying that's a threat. I'm saying your fifis, your feelings, your ego, because you thought you were fucking entitled to the presidency. Hillary Clinton. Oh, Hillary Clinton. Oh, gosh, I'm mad. I am fucking mad this morning. The Bernie Bros coming out in me full swing right now from 2 years ago. Damn it. I cannot get that. The computer does that. Let me do that again. Let's see. Hold on. I'm on a roll this morning. I am. Let's see here. Let me find a photo. Yeah, that's this. This bitch that was on Howard Stern. He hurt me. He hurt me. He hurt me. She thought she was fucking entitled to win the presidency. Yes, fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Orange Man. He's a billionaire. I hate billionaires, but I also hate almost billionaires. This thing is worth $250 million that she siphoned through the Heritage Foundation. I'm not the Heritage Foundation, the Clinton Foundation. And in 2016, while the Hilltars were blaming Bernie Bros and people who supported Jill Stein for Donald Trump winning election, when it was Hillary Clinton's advisors telling Bill Clinton that he can't go into Michigan, he can't go into Michigan or Wisconsin or Ohio or Pennsylvania. Yeah, Bill Clinton's a piece of shit, but he's a charismatic motherfucker, and he would have been the one that would have been able to get this Karen into the White House, and they wouldn't do it. And then they said, well, Bernie Sanders ruined it for her, prevented the first woman going to go and use identity politics. Well, how about this? How about maybe Hillary Clinton prevented the first Jewish man to become president? I mean, if you're going to go use identity politics. But let me get rid of this photo of Hillary Clinton because she causes me to have high blood pressure. There we go. Point I'm trying to make is, while I am disappointed with Tulsi, I'm raging angry with Hillary Clinton, and I'm kind of pissed off with half of my comrades that supported Bernie Sanders in 2020 for siding with Hillary Clinton when you could have gotten Tulsi's back and you could have prevented this situation where she's going to be speaking to a group of people that's going to go and welcome her at CPAC. Now, my question to the conservative Republicans, because this is what I don't understand from them. They'll tell me, well, I like Tulsi Gabbard. She's a little bit different from the Democrats because, she's defending Kirsten Sinema these days and Joe Manchin against, rowdy lefties that needs to go and harass the shit out of Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. And because she went and shit on Build Back Better, which a lot of the ideas from Build Back Better were actually ideas she proposed and was to the left of 2 years ago. I mean, this is the politics. It's kind of like, what the fuck, And yeah, I mean, she's there. These Republicans telling me they like her. Which Tulsi Gabbard do you like, Republicans? Do you like the Tulsi Gabbard of today that's trying to sit there and repeat talking points from Sean Hannity? Or do you like the Tulsi Gabbard that was Bernie Light? Which one do you like? Because they seem to not have an answer for that. Anyway, that's just my thoughts right now. And I'll wait for what she has to say. And I will perhaps comment on with a commentary in the next couple of days. So let's go over here to the chat lines. And we have Hot Retarded Chicks. Hey, Hot Retarded Chicks, guess what? We're talking about Tulsi Gabbard this morning. Let's see. Strokes are base, dude. As I said, if Hillary Clinton would have had one, would have been like, hey, fucking A. Base. Let's see. Well, yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Woo. Yay. Yep. And that's the way it all goes. So anyway, that's just my rant this morning. Take it as it is. And if you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree, comment anyway. We will have a conversation. As a First Amendment absolutist, please create your own platform and utilize it because we're the muckrakers of our time. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, as I said that, I just said that. Subscribe to this channel, folks. Please make this channel one of the big channels on the online left. Let it surpass the Young Turks. Let's have 15 million subscribers. And where we could go and work towards social democracy. And I see invalid_org. Good morning, Invalid. How are you? I'm just getting it all out of my system about the situation with Tulsi this morning. So anyway, as I said, I'm just trying to figure her out because I spent almost the last 30 minutes trying to brainstorm what makes her tick. What makes a lot of politicians tick. And what makes my blood pressure go up. And this country going against the grain of common sense it would be one of those things. So, Invalid, very interesting debate you had that I saw yesterday. And you should do more of those on your channel. So for everybody, I am going to get out of here because I have to get some sleep. And until next time, keep that class struggle going, because we got a capitalist system that needs to be taken to task for a lot of the crap that they have imposed on us. And until next time, free Julian Assange. Music.